This is the ABAlliance update, powered by Streamlabs Talk Studio.
First off, welcome to all new ABAlliance allies. This is the ABAlliance Shady Bunch Scandal Part 2. I'm Darrin Thompson, co-founder and chief financial officer of the Alberta Accountability Alliance. The Alliance is in desperate need of your assistance to help us reach our goal of $1,500 by February 13th. If we can get 300 monthly subscribers to Substack, we can reach that goal. Other ways you can help us, you can join the Alliance at aballiance.ca, donate directly at ko-fi.com/ABPoli, follow us on Blue Sky at aballiance.ca, on TikTok at ADC Truth, and another way to shop, abpoli.ca. Your support is greatly appreciated. Again, we need to reach $1,500 next couple of days to cover fines and other expenses. Now, a little bit about me. I'm considered a Swiss Army knife by a lot because I have a lot of experience in a multitude of sectors and businesses. I'm what you call an experienced broadcast journalist, content creator, with many years spent in all aspects of media with a prime focus in commercial radio, where I covered local and national political content in Alberta, BC, and Saskatchewan. I'm also a former dual member on the AHS Provincial Advisory Council for Addictions and Mental Health, along with representation on the David Thompson Health Region. As covered in Part 1, we were directly involved in the initial discussions in fall of 2023 around the possible transition to Recovery Alberta and some of the things that entailed, including a test launch of the InnoWell app and shifting to a telehealth model utilizing professionals at Ponoka as the care team to work directly with police and paramedics dispatched to emergency domestic and public situations where individuals involved were deemed as potential risks due to mental health, which, as you can see today, is not the most effective tool, as you can't even access it from the My Health Alberta website, the supposed hub of all things health-related in Alberta. On December 19th, 2023, the Advisory Council received two documents. Number one, refocusing our healthcare deck document with multiple pages that contained important information that was coded to be confidential and not allowed to be disclosed publicly. And second, a questionnaire for Advisory Council feedback. Nowhere in this document does it mention the term Recovery Alberta for mental health and addictions. It ensures that harm reduction will remain an integral part of treatment. In addition, nowhere is there any mention of a provincial health corporation. In my position as David Thompson region representative, I was also on the advisory panel for the initial transition plan for COVID-19 protocols in hospitals and healthcare centers, including the mask mandates. Although 100% confidential in the participants' information who took part as the final focus group, once all votes were tallied, our group was able to see the overall results, which showed a majority wanting to gradually reduce the mask protocols for public areas based on a 6-month time frame, along with the majority in favor of mask protocols remaining in areas that contained the most vulnerable. Example, seniors care, ICU, emergency, and surgical areas. Kind of makes sense, doesn't it? Shortly after the panel closed, the UCP government completely ignored the results and eliminated all COVID-19 protocols across the province, leaving it up to the individual locations' choice if they wanted to allow or enforce a mask mandate, knowing darn well how much of a hot topic this was and what kind of struggle you'd have to enforce the mask mandate. In the meantime, several town halls were planned for the refocusing of healthcare in Alberta starting in January of 2024. However, on April 2nd, 2024, the Alberta government put out an official release announcing Recovery Alberta, the proposed new mental health and addiction organization in Alberta, pending legislative approval. You know what? The funny thing is, although there were immediate transitions taking place in mental health and addictions, including Carrie Bales named as CEO for Recovery Alberta, but there was very little mention to no mention of Marshall Smith and the Alberta plan. There's also no mention of this officially in the legislature until it was presented as Bill 22 and passed first reading on May 14th, over 30 days from the initial media release. 7 days after that media release, on April 11th, just one day after the David Thompson Region Council meeting in Red Deer, we received an update refocusing AB Health Deck. Again, no mention of Recovery Alberta. However, this one says the health advisory councils will be dissolved and replaced with 13 new advisory councils that they believe would be a better fit, and they would like the current council's feedback on how to better serve Alberta. My time in our council's official end was June 30th, with last communications from our group on June 21st. Although no longer on council, with that knowledge of what refocusing Alberta Health was going to be, we paid very close attention to media releases and updates from the government. Unfortunately, as the UCP track record continuously shows, the communication or lack thereof from this government is astounding. On November 1st, they put out an official release documenting refocusing Alberta, just one day after presenting and pushing through the first reading on the notorious Bill 26. Now that things are starting to become slightly more transparent, but now all those changes made in Bill 22 became a hell of a lot scarier, as Bill 26 not only was it an attack on trans rights and youth health, which was the main focus during the entire debates in the Ledge and through the local media. The thing that hasn't been addressed until now, which we believe is one of the most important concerns for all Albertans, especially with all the new information coming out about overstepping bounds on top of CEOs of AHS. Bill 26 also provided the final steps to give full control for every aspect of the Alberta healthcare system to Minister Adriana Lagrange, Premier Danielle Smith, and the UCP government, with the implementation of the Alberta Health Services Provincial Corporation, in which every sector in the health system reports to the health minister, and Minister Lagrange can make any changes they deem necessary. Not to mention, all Alberta Health Services Provincial Corporation funds are now managed by AIMCO and new CEO, former Prime Minister Stephen Harper. And the final blow to our public health system came courtesy of Minister of Red Tape Reduction Dale Nailey's Bills 33, Protection of Privacy Act, and Bill 34, Access to Information Act, which did exactly what it was designed to do in protecting the privacy of the alleged UCP Christian conservative collusion and corruption by limiting journalists, independent media, and the overall public access to that said information. As for the rest of the Shady Bunch scandal gang, Marlena Danielle Smith, Premier of Alberta, there's too many scandals to count. We're going to allow the experts, you can check out all those things, check out some of our past stuff to go from there. Jason Nixon continues to be the animal abusing asshole that he always has been. Here's the Minister of Social Services discussing the unhoused in our province.
party within our province, but the vulnerable people in general have been pretty excited once they realize what opportunities they have. I mean, do you want my approach, which is to reach in, send a warm bus, load everybody up, bring them to a nice warm facility, give them shower, foods, and access to medical resources, or to be left inside a tent freezing to death, taking poison, right?
Andre Tremblay, been directly connected to Health Minister Adriana LaGrange since 2021. As Deputy Education Minister till 2023, then Deputy Health Minister, an AHS board member from 2023 till 2025. In January is now the interim CEO of AHS. And finally, the most recent scandal involving former AHS CEO Athena Metsalopoulos. First off, here's current AB NDP leader Naheed Nenshi.
Danielle Smith's government fired the AHS CEO and then fired the board. She's now on her 5th AHS CEO in the short time she's been premier. She's fired the board twice. The report alleges that this firing happened after the CEO and the board of AHS started to look into the legality around contracts for private surgeries that could enrich companies that had very, very strong ties to the UCP government and staff. The allegations say that the CEO was pressured into signing contracts way above market value with these companies. The board was so concerned about this that they suggested that the CEO take the information to the RCMP for criminal investigation. The CEO was fired 2 days before a meeting with the Auditor General to talk about what was going on.
So as I mentioned earlier, during my time following BC politics, I became very aware of Ms. Metsalopoulos and her involvement in the Christy Clark BC Liberal Party.
Athena Metsalopoulos was one of the most powerful people in the Clark clique. The longtime Liberal became known as the bridesmaid because she was once part of Christy Clark's wedding party. She held a variety of the most senior roles in Clark's 2011 to 2017 administration. Metsalopoulos was the head of government communications in 2012 when the BC Liberals falsely claimed that the RCMP was investigating a health data breach. That lie led to several defamation lawsuits and a suicide. In 2016 and 2017, she was the Deputy Minister of Finance under Mike de Jong, who concealed a damning report about money laundering at River Rock Casino. Metsalopoulos was fired on the last day of the 16-year BC Liberal dynasty and received a $475,000 golden parachute. She became the Canadian Credit Union Association's head lobbyist. Metsalopoulos starred in the Treasury Board's May 2017 boxing-themed video in pursuit of the Premier's Award of Excellence for the Finance Ministry's 5 balanced budgets. The video does not tell the truth. The BC Liberals balanced budgets by hiking rates for electricity and car insurance and then raiding the accounts of taxpayer-owned monopolies BC Hydro and ICBC. The NDP's John Horgan became Premier in July 2017, and the Treasury Board did not win. Outtakes from Metsalopoulos' interview were obtained by The Breaker under Freedom of Information.
Okay, whenever you're ready.
Please tell us what video this is for.
This is to support the nomination for Treasury Board for 5 balanced budgets.
Please give us your name, spell your last name, your position or title, and ministry or organization.
My name is Athena Metsalopoulos. It's spelled just like it sounds. Mentzelopoulous, Ministry of Finance, and I'm the Deputy Minister here.
Sorry, the baby crying in the background. Some background on the change in the economy that was the driving force behind the return to balanced budgets.
Well, we've had a very strong economy in British Columbia, and there's an old saying that says, make hay while the sun shines. And so it's a really good idea when you are in that kind of an economy, when you do see very healthy revenues, to try to pay down some of your debt, to try to balance your budget, and to try to get into a healthier space on your balance sheet. Ask me again then.
We love those short little nuggets.
Okay.
And it's always nice to give us options, like if you have a longer one, a shorter one.
Can you give some background on the change in the economy that was the driving force behind the return to balanced budgets?
A big part of it was the fact that we have had the strongest economy in Canada over quite an extended period of time.
Perfect. Between the two, it's perfect.
Are 5 balanced budgets important to, sorry, that was my fault. Why are 5 balanced budgets important to government?
Every one of those 5 has been important, and it's basically because when you borrow money, someday, somehow, you will have to pay it back. So it's better not to borrow to begin with.
Excellent.
Treasury Board staff for?
Well, I always say pop my bubble. Treasury Board staff has a very effective but kind way of making sure I'm well informed.
Perfect, short and sweet.
Yeah, that's great.
What was the driving the focus need to balance?
Well, a budget always reflects ultimately political decision making. That's appropriate, and our budgets certainly do that. But again, it comes back to the fact we've had a great economy, and that's a good time to get your finances in order.
Treasury Board staff is being nominated for organizational excellence.
Because they are awesome.
Can you say the treasury?
Can you say the Treasury Board staff?
Oh, now it's not going to feel so authentic. Treasury Board staff are being nominated because they are awesome.
Okay, good. I'm sorry, one more time. It's just you're laughing at the end and it was very loud. Yes.
Oh, I do have a loud laugh. Okay. Treasury Board staff are being nominated because they're awesome.
Good, excellent. Can I ask some questions?
Sure.
Okay. And when I ask, just answer to Alicia.
Okay.
So how does a balanced budget improve the lives of citizens?
Well, it's sometimes hard to understand how it improves the lives of citizens right now, right here. It improves the lives of the citizens of tomorrow, the kids who are going to have to pay back all the debt that we have generated.
Excellent.
Now you have the information. Where do we go from here? Well, in the current Canadian parliamentary system, we have no option but to use the courts. Unfortunately, that option will be very time-consuming, not to mention very expensive, especially the fact that the UCP government spends tens of millions of taxpayer dollars annually on retainers for legal firms across the country. You know what? Although I'm not a fan of letter writing campaigns, I feel the most logical step forward is to contact the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, Selma Lakaney, and ask if they have read and reviewed all the bills presented to them from Premier Danielle Smith and the UCP government. And if they have, can they please justify the decisions they made of supporting and putting multiple bills into law that provide unconstituted power, but are also a direct violation of the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. Contact information will be in the content notes, but we'll give you the brief there. Lieutenant Governor can be contacted at the office of the Lieutenant Governor of Alberta, 3rd floor of the Legislative Building, 10800 97th Avenue, Edmonton, Alberta, T5K 2B6. Direct line 780-427-7243 and email ltgov@gov.ab.ca. Again, the ABAlliance is in desperate need of your assistance. We hate asking for help. We hate asking for funds, but we have no choice. We've spent the limits that we have personally, professionally, to keep the Alliance going, to pay for those things. We've got a fine bill coming up in 2 days. If we don't have it paid, we're going to face Crown charges. It's just another way for the UCP government to continue to mute us. And we want to continue with this. We want people to join us. We want, like, we're holding it right now. We hope the information we provided is enlightening for you. We hope you do take that time to send a letter to Lekani to start standing up against this government. Stop doing the status quo, because that's what they want you to do. We need to do something to take back Alberta, the Black Hat Gang, and the United Conservative Party, and Premier Danielle Smith. You can donate directly to the fund at co-fi.com/ABAlliance. Purchase any items from the collection, the Team Canada collection, the My Alberta Cares collection, with proceeds going to the Alliance at ABAlliance.ca. And follow us on Blue Sky. You follow us on Facebook, Meta. We might be there for a bit longer, but Blue Sky is our where we are right now. It's at ABAlliance.ca. And you give us a follow on TikTok at ADC Truth. Again, I'm coming to you guys. We're coming to you. We're begging you for some support. We need to keep going. We want to collaborate with people. We want to keep going. But without your support, we got to make the 1,500 in the next couple of days, or we're dust. And my family can't handle that right now. They would appreciate it. I greatly appreciate it. And this is a way that we can continue to come together for Alberta. So again, share this. Financial support if you can. If you really can, quickest way to do it is sign up on our Substack monthly membership. If we can hit 300 paid members by Thursday, we'll break the goal, cover the fine, and we'll be able to move forward on that. So again, thanks everyone for your support. Thanks for connecting. Any questions or concerns, shoot us an email, abpolica@gmail.com, and we'll talk to you again soon.
The following message has been authorized by Alberta Accountability Alliance, abpolica@gmail.com.